What's up, YouTube? Yeah, I'm getting sick and tired of people just deliberately being delusional and allowing unstable women the chance to destroy everything. But I believe that was part of the plan to begin with. I really do. Well, they've been looking for ways to destabilize, and that's one way to do it, especially the men, is mess with their family. And yeah, that's what these people will do. Um, just like this Nicki Minaj thing, where all of a sudden she's at the White House giving up all this information. Has anybody sat back and noticed that all they're doing is elaborating a little bit on the people we already knew? Not only that, Jaguar Wright, Monique, they only started bitching when they didn't get the deals that they wanted to get, which means they were fine and cool with everything that was going on until they didn't get their slice. Then they spilt the tea. And we still don't know what they did because obviously they were cool with it until then. Also, Allie Carter was going around talking about this, and she said, all these things. Just like we all said these things back in 2005, 2008, 2009, 2010, and so on. Also, has anybody noticed that Bill Gates got caught with all that stuff with Epstein and all that in 2013, right? Then in 2015, he starts talking about this bullshit pandemic and how we could do a real good job with depopulation through vaccinations, 10% each year. Then in 2017, they're running pandemic drills. It's like every 2 years, they're taking baby steps to do what he talked about 2 years before, except for when he got caught. I think that's when he got the idea to start taking people out. Well, think about it. I don't know how he doesn't have people's attention that they want to take people's lives. He said it blatantly right out. Depopulation. And he's not talking about animals, he's talking about people. I don't see how he could have been any more direct. And people over here giving the man the benefit of the doubt. Oh, well, he's talking about a pandemic coming in. No, he's not, you idiot. Also, to make these viruses that are going around, a pig and a bird and a bat would have had to have slept together to get those DNAs mixed. The only way you're mixing those DNA is at a lab. You're not mixing that just by nature. It doesn't happen. To make these viruses jump from an animal to a human, you have to add in a certain protein that is not apparent in people or animals. That right there is basically the link that allows it to jump. The only way they're going to know that is by messing with stuff in a lab to figure that out. Right. Well, we're not taking this protein, so how? Bullshit. You guys have watched your bread and milk get cleared off of shelves. and then restocked just before COVID and all that even hit. And none of you really asked any questions about it. Meat was done the same way. None of you asked any questions. Right there is a way of replacing what was good with what was contaminated. I told you all when they were going around trying to convince everybody to let the government take over and to trust them and blah, 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 blah. This is why people from the bank and the government were to be shot if they were found on your land. Because the people knew that this is what they were going after. They were going after your water, food, and land rights. Why? Because it's a way to control you. Yes, if they have control of the cleanest water, the best food, the best land, guess what? You're shit out of luck. Because if they don't want you to have it, you're not getting it. You think they're going to plead and bargain with you? No. They're going to put a hole in you and laugh at you as they walk away. And with how sick these people are, you're most likely going to become food. Oh, yeah, y'all might want to look that up. Cannibalism is not illegal in the U.S., murder is. Eating human flesh is not. What, y'all think that's a coincidence? No, it's not. It would explain how they found out about NAD. Excuse me, I've been calling it NDA. I've got the letters mixed up, but it's NAD, which also has the same letters as DNA. Also, a little while back, I Googled where does NAD come from? Google says the only way you can get NAD is by putting vitamin B3 and vitamin B6 into the body. And what it creates is NAD, which is a natural thing that the body does that keeps it young and healthy. This is what they're taking from all these children that are missing, all these accidents, all these parents, all these things that are happening to the young kids while they're losing their life. This is why they are allowing it to happen. This is why they're putting it out there. This is why they're doing it. It does not only get them slaves that they can sell for other things. They sell their organs, they sell their blood, they sell their skin tissue, they sell their adrenaline gland. And of course, they sell the NAD. How do you know what they're doing to these kids before they sell them off and all that? Jennifer's body, they were telling you. Uh, the skulls, they were telling you. Disturbing behavior, they were telling you. Yes, that's the towers. Oh, yes, it is. And that's why you have a cell phone. That's also why they're covering you with aluminum oxide. One, breathing it in fucks with your digestive system. Two, it turns you into a walking antenna to make sure these waves connect to you. It's just like you adding a piece of metal to your fingers so you can have electricity come through easier or better. They're making you into a conductor. That way things connect to you. Remember the office people down in, I believe it was Florida, that had the so called vertigo? Yeah, that was them testing it. They were seeing if they could pinpoint it. And they did. HARP is the reason for all the crazy weather, even this freak snowstorm. Yes. Well, how are they making it so cold? Well, it's already naturally cold because of the ionosphere and the way winds and, you know, wind jets, things like that are already blowing around the planet. All they have to do is add either more electric or this or that to it and make it more unstable. It'll start doing it on its own. The Earth goes through natural cycles of that on its own. It will get real hot some years, it'll get real cold some years, and others it'll seem like it's beautiful and don't even know what was happening. The Earth has always done that. The fact that you're adding more chemicals into the ionosphere, the fact that you keep messing with the ionosphere, it's already unstable just the way it is. You keep fucking with it. It's what happens when it becomes so unstable that it turns into something like geostorms and they can't stop it. Right, they're messing with something they know nothing about. They are trying to play God and they're not God. If that thing gets out of control to where they can't do anything to, control it, yeah, what are they going to do then? Oops, and run. Also, don't forget that they can do cloning and all this other stuff. Um, the one lady that they keep showing with Jay Z, the one that does the spirit cooking and all that, that's the lady we were telling you about that was doing the so called uh, celebrity parties in LA, where there was human flesh on the menu. There was supposedly, when they showed the picture of it, it looked like a real person in a pool of blood. But they said that it was a cake made to look like the celebrity lying in strawberry, you know, whatever. It didn't look like that. Then they started coming out with these realistic looking cakes. You see how they use that for the manipulation? Oh, this is all it was. Yeah, it didn't look like that. Rihanna exposed that Jay Z, she was a sweet girl until after this incident. And then it was like something possessed her ass. Almost kind of like the Medea uh, Goes to Jail movie. That one chick, she was real sweet until people decided to do some bad things to her and then she turned evil. She hated everybody and everything. That's the same attitude that Rihanna has. She was real sweet and all this, and then after she got threatened to sign that contract or she was going to take a flight out of a window, which, where have we heard that before? There's been a lot of new artists that have said stuff like that. There's also been ones that have fallen out of a window and committed suicide when they're up there to sign a fucking contract. That's weird. Right. I mean, do they deliberately put in glass that they know they can throw somebody out? Because that glass is supposed to be strong enough to withstand all that and not break. Yeah, the one guy that tried to demonstrate it, the glass didn't break, the frame popped out, and the whole glass and him went down. So technically, he was right. Glass didn't break, the frame did. Because whoever installed it didn't make sure it was secure. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That kind of stuff right there. Harvey Weinstein, yes, he was dirty, but he was also set up by dirty women. which, yeah, I feel he should have went down. But I'm also paying attention to a lot of these women wanted it for the money. They didn't care if he was dirty or not. They were going to make him look dirty. So, yeah, thank God they got one that was actually a monster, but I still see the act that they did. Now, I agree with them doing that to him because he needed to go down. But there's other people that they have done that to him because they wouldn't do anything, they lied and still got what they wanted. So, this is why I don't trust the women even though they might or might not have went through something like that. Yes, I know plenty of women that when they hear that, they're like, cha-ching. Just like this little boy story, and you have this woman saying that she's been a investigative person for CPS for 30 years. Really? So you've been behind them trafficking children, but you're over here talking about a fake, and it is completely fake. You can tell just by the way they are detailing it. Just like they tried to do with Tyler Robinson and the boyfriend's text messages. You can tell. They are trying to make that sound bad. Well, that's one way that you can tell that a young person is lying because they are putting a lot of detailed things that I don't know how to describe it, but you can tell the difference. They're going like up and over the top with some of the details just to make it sound worse than anything anybody's ever heard because it gives them attention and it sells the lie because people are like, there's no way this kid would come up with this. Bull crap. You have no clue what they see on the internet. And with this um, LBGQ community putting all this sexual stuff in front of kids to push them to be gay or whatever at young ages, right there. You're already putting stuff in front of them sexually to explore. They know a lot of things that they can use. Not only that, there are stories all over the internet that they can get a hold of at any time. It's just insane. It really is insane. We don't need proof that Epstein and Bill Gates created COVID 19. We already know. And it was created right here in the US. SARS and MERS is a bioweapon that was created in Edgewood Arsenal. And I know that for a fact. I'm the one who put the carpet in the biolabs at Edgewood Arsenal. It was written right on the little labels outside the labs. And what was two of the variants that were going around? SARS and MERS. What was the third? Oh, nobody knows. Maybe both of those mixed. Yeah, excuse me, the H1N1. They had an H5N5. That was a bioweapon. Y'all are stupid. They told you right to your face. I mean, seriously? I mean, if you're expecting these people to come out and be like, yeah, this is why we did it, in crude layman's terms and tell you right to your face, they're not going to do that. But Bill Gates told you in his own way. Yeah, he did. Look up 2015 TED convention, Bill Gates. Listen to the whole thing. Look up 2012 Olympic ceremony. Look up 2024 Olympic ceremony. Guess what? 6666. 12, 24. Four sixes and two sixes. Yep, that's six sixes. Imagine that. Even the patent on the vaccination, the fucking patent number was 666. I mean, what more do you need? You guys are waiting for these people to, come out and say the words that they did it just to make your brain happy, I guess. I don't know. Y'all forgot how to connect dots. I mean, damn, these dots are put out there in fucking neon colors, and y'all are like, nope, I don't believe it. Where did AOC go? Haven't seen her. Where did all these crazy ass people go? They should be in jail. And what did we keep hearing? Oh, we're going to fire them. Oh, they're going to lose their job. What good does that do? That doesn't do anything. I mean, wow. I mean, seriously. If y'all haven't read Revelations, I suggest you read it. Even if you don't believe in it, read it. Then you need to watch The Watchmen. And that'll tell you all you need to know. If you can't get it from those two things, you're never going to get it. Yes, don't be lazy and just read a couple of parts of Revelations and be like, it sounds weird. Read the whole thing a couple of times and then match it up to whatever you see going on in the world. And let me tell you something. That Bible is written out like that for a reason because it's telling you the beginning of time to the end of time. Revelations is the end of time. That's why it warns you. I think that's also why it comes in birth pains because it has given you, well, us, the chance to stop it. But that's the problem. A red guy downstairs doesn't want anybody to stop it. But Nicki Minaj was one that would use money from this. Not only that, all those people fit the same description of the people of Sodom and Gomorrah and the Egyptians that God kept sending plagues to. So there you go. Well, leaked documents publishing the survivor, Epstein survivor names was deliberately done. See, this is how they're deliberately trying to put snags in what they're doing. So judges will say that it was poorly handled and it needs to be blah, 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 blah. which we already know that these judges are behind it too. Because what judge would say, "Don't let it out"? I can understand not releasing anything of the victims, but they're playing games. None of us ever said that we wanted the victims' names shown. We wanted the people that were the perpetrators. That's who we wanted, and they knew it. And I don't know if Donald Trump had anything to do with it or not, but I do tell you this much. It's very weird of the so called Virginia girl that they were supposedly fighting over because she was working for Trump, was she not? Why are all these young girls working in massage parlors for these old men? None of that sounds right. No, they normally don't hire anybody that's under 18. So why are 16-year-old women being hired to put their hands on old perverted men? I mean, supposedly Trump chased him out of Mar-a-Lago, but then a few years later, he's planning a trip back to Mar-a-Lago. So I don't understand that one. But what they put in there about that little boy and all that, I don't believe that. I don't. There's been so many people that have shown how fake it was. So, and it's been pulled out and then put back. And I think it's been put back because it is fake and they want to show people that it is. I don't think Donald Trump did that. Nope, because if he did, that chick Virginia would have said something. Unless he was so nice to her that she is manipulated into not saying anything, which is possible. But that whole story with that girl, why the fuck was she in the Australian outback? It doesn't make any sense. She was in the United States, but she's put in Australian outback and then gets hit by a bus. Hmm. And then was recovering in a hospital and supposedly died in there, where you have nurses and doctors that are secretly a part of this. Yeah. Remember them dancing and laughing during COVID, and everybody was like, "Oh, they're just trying to keep their, morale about them." No, they weren't. They were doing that because they knew people were dying, and they knew that if they did anything, that they would be next, just like in China. Yeah, this shit wasn't released and then sent around the world like that. They had specific people placed to release it. There was supposedly two scientists caught leaving the United States with vials of it, and then I didn't hear anything more about that. So we don't even know if they were Chinese. We don't know. All I know is that doesn't make sense because the two I got the SARS variant. Other people got the MERS variant, and some got the other one. And right there's three different strands. And they said that they were mixing all those with other uh, internal illnesses like cancer and HIV at a lab in Boston. And then all of a sudden, they start talking about disease X and another variant going around. Really? They deliberately released it. Even the Bible talks about it, 7 vials. The cloning and all that, this is just a theory of mine, but they could have cloned Zuckerberg, Bezos, all them. They could all be in underground shit just watching all this play out. because they already know. They're just waiting for it to do what they know it's going to eventually do. Yeah, everybody's losing their shit. But hey, stuff happens, you know? Always hated people, always tried to stay away from people. And the situation with my children just reminded me of why. I was one of the people that were going to help everybody out once the shit hit the fan. Now, I just want to sit back in a long chair, drink a beer, and laugh at all you motherfuckers losing your shit. Well, why would you do that? That's what you all did when my kids died. I was trying to show you that these people are not giving a fuck and that these kids were scared to death and knew that these people were going to hurt them and that I'm fighting everybody. And then I've got to fight the community. All because dumb bitches. That's hard to believe. No shit. I never said it wasn't hard or easy to believe. I said this is the truth. And what did people do? Go along with a bunch of psycho bitches that can't even run their own lives. All because they're female. Wow. Imagine that. This is the same reason why the kids and I couldn't get any justice or protection unless I took her ass out myself. And look at that catch 22. And she knew it. I did not feel she had the balls to do this, and I was right. She didn't. That's why she gave it to her mom to do. Because she knew she'd do it. And little David was already showing signs that he wanted to hurt him. So she basically just used that and pushed it. Yep. And it's funny how people are, well, that's hard to believe. Yeah, tell me. Tell me about it. Broke Kirsten's arm. She wants to come here with me. Her mom talks her out of it. I don't know what the fuck she said to her. I was getting the car at the hospital. Oh yeah, my daughter was so scared of me. Oh yeah, but she wanted her dad there every time something bad was going on. Right. She had a picture of her dad in her room right by her bed. Right. But she was so afraid of me. Yeah, right. Kid was not afraid of her dad. She was afraid of her mother. That's why she stated it. And to the people that said that I coerced them, you are about the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. I was going against everything they were saying. Just like when they were trying to talk about how Amy was trying to teach them to smack people and, respect their mom by listening to doing that and blaming it on their dad. That was the one that taught them to hit people. They were trying to make it look like I was teaching my kids to be violent. Right. I still have all those videos, and nobody gives a fuck about them. Why? Oh, because you're in your mom's basement. Yeah. Nobody asked any questions of how we ended up there, which was another part of her little plan. Yeah, she wanted to come back here because at the time my brother was here. He had just gotten back from basic. She knew he had money. Right. And her little plan failed. Do you know where my brother lived just before he came back to my mom's house? Razor Strap Road, which was literally right outside of development where we lived. He just got back from the military, where they go on 12-mile, 10-mile runs, walking a few hundred feet through a wooded area to meet her is nothing. Oh, yeah, they would. That's also why she wanted to walk everywhere. Yeah. She would lie and say she had to work and that she was walking because it was only Subway and end up going out with my brother. Yeah. I don't know how he manipulates these women into this shit. I really don't. And I think my brother's about to get a divorce because his wife is having male friends over to the house while he's deployed to Texas. Yeah. I don't know. I think they have an agreement. I think they have an open marriage, which I don't know how the hell he talks these women into this shit, but he does. I don't know. My brother's always been able to manipulate women into anything. Literally anything. I guess he uses money. I don't know. It ain't like he's got, you know, any type of manliness to him. He's just a big fatso. My brother has done a lot of dirty shit. A lot of dirty shit. No, if it was under the right circumstances for certain things, I wouldn't say a word because it wouldn't be considered dirty. As in beating up fucking nasty ass people that deserve their ass kicked for a certain reason or another. Yep, you'd never hear me say a word. But that's not the case with these stories. My brother deliberately shot himself with a rifle just to get attention. And everybody believed it. Oh, it went off by accident. Bullshit. It's a black powder 50 caliber rifle. It's not going to go off by accident. Not only that, he had just gotten back from basic and AIT where they teach you all that shit. What's the best spot to get shot? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they do. And it's just really funny with this new information. He sends fucking a shot through his body that just happened to miss all his organs. Yeah. Meanwhile, my mother's got an attitude towards me. The whole time my brother's laying in a bed and I'm trying to help her deal with that. Nobody would get her coffee. I went and got her coffee. She didn't like it because the hospital coffee was really, really good. So I fucked with it and watered it down and made it to where it actually tastes like a decent cup of coffee. And she had an attitude towards me the whole time. I'm like, I didn't fucking do this. Why the fuck do you keep getting mad at me? You know, if he passes away, I'm the only fucking son you got, and you're gonna sit there and act like that? Okay? Yeah, these were the ones that jumped on Tiffany's side when she left. And I was telling them those kids are not safe. Something's gonna happen to them. Oh, they're with their mother. They'll be fine. Mom, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm telling you right now, she will hurt those kids. Especially if they don't do what she wants them to do to go against me. She will hurt them. That's nonsense. What you got to say now? Right. Even being a dumbass when Talon got locked out of the house and she keeps telling police, you know, I wasn't there. I don't know how he got locked out. Who gets home before Talon? Who doesn't want Talon around? David. Right. He was in high school. They were in middle school. Who gets home first? David. Or no, they were in elementary school. He was just starting in high school. Kirsten would have been starting middle school the next school year, but she passed. She was in fifth grade. Yes, and I hate going to big events and things like that, especially at schools. But I went to all of their field days. I went to any concert they had. I went to any sporting event they had, including practice, even though I didn't want to be there at all. I didn't go because of me. I went because of them. Just like her concert. Tiffany asked me to go to both, and I said no because it always turns out to be a fucking trap. You guys act all nice and sweet while we're there. Everything goes great. Next thing you know, shit's filed, and I'm getting in trouble for shit that never happened. No, I'm not going. So she used Kirsten. Kirsten said she wanted me to go. I said, baby girl, you know your mom's going to get me in trouble. And she said, no, she won't. She did. She tried every fucking turn to fucking say shit. That's why I had the video camera. Then they started bringing an iPad and videotaping me, which I don't care. You can videotape me all you want. I got it on video. Them putting David in the back hatch, them riding kids around without seatbelts, me talking to the police, and the police just laughing it off. Imagine that. The same fucking police department that was cussing behind my kids during the fireworks. And when I gave them a dirty look, they said, oh shit, sorry. Oh, but you're going to cuss again. Yeah, walking behind me and Tiff talking about their mother and what they would want to do to her. Cussing and being very perverted and vulgar. Two police officers. Yeah. You see her walking with her fiance and her kids, and this is what you're going to do? Motherfucker, I will beat your ass and take that ride to jail. Thank you. That's when I slowly stepped back to them and said, I don't appreciate you talking like that about my fiance, and I know your fucking boss. So keep running your fucking mouth. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sure you are. That's the same fat fuck that I had to talk to outside, and all he did was have an attitude. Yeah, that's the way to address the public, you fucking prick. This is the same police department that was called when they couldn't find Talon that tried to tell me I needed to stay with Tiffany because I was better at handling the kids. Because Nolan didn't want anything to do with his mother, with his dad being there. Oh, but I was such a bad dad. Yeah, right. Get the fuck out of my face. My kids wouldn't act like that. Jazzy always wanted her dad. Always. Until this bullshit with her mother. Right. Even with being with her mother for most of the time, she still had that bond with her dad, which pissed her mother off. And Jen destroyed it. Jazzy forgets me and her talking out back of Cedar Hill when my neighbor Debbie was talking to us through her window because she had her window open. And I'm dealing with Tiffany acting like an asshole and what Jen just did to Jazzy. And Jen swears up and down, oh, he broke a court order. And went, you didn't come to get your daughter. I have all that in text message trying to get a hold of Steve and you, asking you why the hell you're not coming to get Jazz. And no, I didn't want her to come and get Jazz. But I still listened to the court order. Even though, 2 times before, listening to that court order is what gave Jen the opportunity to take her. Did they do anything about that? No. I just watched a woman get arrested for stealing her daughter and running over state line for 40 years. But here's the thing, if the police and the judges are friends with your family and they just laugh at the person, there's nothing I can do unless I go do it myself, and then I get in trouble for not going through the law. See what I mean? Catch 22. And yes, they did laugh at me with a court order in my hand. This is shortly after Jasmine got her leg broke, and I took custody of Jasmine because Jen didn't have a place to stay. Jen didn't have a job. Jen didn't have a car. I don't even think Jen had a license. But okay. I don't see how these women can do all this bad shit and everybody's just like, so? Yeah, this is exactly why Jazzy had mental abuse, or, they called it something else, mental something. And that master that was trying to make me, let Jazzy still visit Sam. He said that he was gonna, get me for that if I didn't let her see this drug dealer that her mom. Y'all don't understand. The whole time Jen's trying to do this, I have custody of Jazz. They were trying to use some type of manipulation to make it look like, Jen and this chick had custody. If they would have gotten that court date the way they wanted, I it's in court record. I mean, you'd think these motherfuckers would look up court record and be questioning that. Why do you have her? Gee, I don't know. Maybe because nobody will fucking report a kidnapping. And yeah, I have all the fucking paperwork to prove that. Right. You know how hard it is for a father to take a child away from a mother? Very hard. And I did it twice. And then the third time, I don't know what the fuck happened. The only thing I can think of is Jen's aunt at the school that Jazzy went to. That's the only thing I can think of. Somehow, those two manipulated. Then I get approached by Heather Cowden. You know, I didn't think you were a fucking Rising Sun backstabbing bitch until that day. Oh, don't worry. I seen you in Martin's. I'm not gonna hurt you. If I wanted you hurt, I would hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you. Then you pulled the same gold digging scheme with fucking Joey. Y'all are fucking. I swear, man. Yeah, Heather. Who took Jazzy to school that day? Me. It was a Tuesday. I remember it exactly. Yes, Jasmine came home Sunday with a big ass fucking knot on the back of her head. From her mother. Yes, she did. I have it on my phone, calling Jen, texting Jen, and trying to get a hold of Steve because I was fucking pissed. Jazzy didn't want to go to school Monday. She wanted to stay home with her dad. I even took off work and almost lost my job. I'm fighting with my boss. I'm fighting with Tiffany because she springs this. I don't want neither one of you here. The same time, I'm going through all this with Jen. Yeah, because she was messing with the neighbor. Uh huh. And I know as soon as I say his name, the local people around that area are going to know exactly who I'm talking about and exactly what he does. And that's exactly what he does. Mr. Jose Cruz. Yeah, Tiffany grew up with them as a little kid in Cedar Hill. She was the one that burnt down her apartment playing with a lighter under the bed when she was younger. Yes, so she already knows the neighborhood, she knows the people, she knows all the little things to do to hide shit from people. She even told me that she would run in and out of neighbors' houses to get away from her mom when she was in trouble because they would hide her. And that's exactly what she did while we were there. Got the neighbors to lie for where she was and what she was doing. She pulled the same shit she pulled as a kid on me that she did on her mother. Yep. Worked then. I have no clue about it. I'm not gonna, think that she's gonna do that to me. So that's why she did it. Tiff, you're a piece of shit, and you know you are. You hurt those kids, and you know you did. You knew all that shit was gonna happen. Just because you tried to pull the so-called ostrich effect and act like, oh, you didn't know anything was going down. Yep, if you didn't see it, then it didn't happen. Right. Oh, it happened. Pretty funny. You were the happiest little motherfucker you could possibly be. Yeah, that wasn't you grieving. I know you grieving. That wasn't you grieving. Yeah, 12 years with me saying you want to get away from a life that you decided to keep doing and go right back to. Sounds like everything you said was a lie. Imagine that. Doesn't matter now, does it? You got another life under your control and another relationship. I just don't get it. Well, you got what you wanted. My heart shattered in 1,000 pieces and me stuck for life. Good job. Your sick, demented ass had to hurt children to get your way. Amazing. Still shows that you're a pussy. You're such a badass and want to fight me or destroy my life. You could have just stepped up to the plate. You think I would have denied that? Fuck no. Take your swing. See what happens. Your swing was to attack innocent little ones that couldn't fight back. Hm. Yeah, you can't do that with me, and you know it. I thought you said you never abuse this woman. I thought you said you don't hit women. I don't. This would not be abuse, and this would not be considered that type of hitting. This is a monster that murdered her kids. You all need to get that in your fucking head because that's exactly what she is.